I'm just starting the session. There are two parts basically. One is data structure, and other is algorithm. So it's a kind of not 50-50, as everyone thinks that okay, 50% data is algorithm, data structures, and then 50% is algorithm. It's kind of 70% data structures and then 30% algorithm. Why? The reason I'm saying like this is because most of the algorithms uses implicitly some of the important data structures. Like for example, if you talk about as simple as this, if you talk about the Nakshatra algorithm, I'm talking about some of the basic graph algorithm, or even the Bellman-Ford, not exactly Bellman-Ford, but yeah, variation of Bellman-Ford or the Nakshatra. You'll come to know that we will be using the basic recursive things actually, but the recursion nobody starts teaching in the algorithm class. It's a kind of basic thing, and we start teaching in the data structures itself. Other things also, for example, what else are there? For example, let us say some complex algorithmic question. So that particular question, it is not that you'll just apply some algorithmic solution and you'll be able to solve that question. So question can be complex, question can be composite also, in which you have to be have knowledge of data structures as well as algorithm, some basic data structure. For example, I mean, even the stack and queue seems to be very easy, but like in some questions, it is very important that you use it. Otherwise, you may land up in some long solution by the time like everyone will be able to code by the using simplest data structures. So it's very important to have your grasp in data structure. Apart from that, some of the things which do not come exactly in the category of algorithm, like for example, recursion. So recursion is a simple concept, but yeah, it is the most powerful concept in the algorithmic section, even in the data structures also because we do use recursion in the case of dynamic programming. So dynamic programming questions, I mean, I will be explaining these things in much detail in the algorithmic sessions, but yeah, just for the sake of briefness of each and everything, I'm just mentioning that recursion is one of the way to solve each and every dynamic programming solution. Of course, we will be optimized so that it will not be like time issue or something like on the websites or even in the interview questions. So recursion is one of the things which is very important, and it's very basic. It is not something like it's not something like you need to know a lot of things from before only. Like prerequisites is like nothing basically. Like just you have to work hard. And one more thing, so data structure algorithm, you can say that algorithm is kind of elder brother of mathematics. So so mathematics is a matter of practice basically. It does not matter whether you outperformed in 10th standard, 12th standard or not. It's just that how much you want to practice at this particular moment. If you want to practice for some good amount of time, then absolutely there is no reason that you will not success in this particular, like in this particular topics. Data algorithm is just like practice. In the same way we used to practice in mathematics. So yeah, one more thing is that it's not that if you are not very much good in mathematics, you'll not be able to do very well in data structure algorithm. It's not the case. It's a general misconception that if one person is already having a very much good knowledge in mathematics, then he will outperform in data structure algorithm. It is not that the case. That is, I mean, like it's related, but it's completely independent things. It's not that like I mean, like you need to have a very good knowledge of mathematics or whatever. So, and the basic mathematics which we'll be using in the data structure algorithm, those things, I mean, like you can really very quickly actually brush up, or even I can, I mean, tell you if you have any specific question in a particular mathematical section of algorithm. So so my concern is that you prepare a mindset that you have to practice, and you have to practice. It's all about the practice, nothing else. If you will keep on practicing, you'll be able to succeed. For the case of those students who are in college, it's just that you have to practice. And one more thing, there's a difference between medical students and engineering students. So the basic difference is that engineering student is having much more flexible timings, but the medical students is not having. Like I mean, I have observed with my friend circle, those who have cracked MBBS or whatever, those who entered in like AIMS and all. So their curriculum is very hectic. I mean, they cannot have some separate time that they can prepare for some subject or something like that. But in engineering, it's completely different. Like I mean, irrespective of irrespective of the college which you are, like whatever IIT, NIT, BITS, you have ample amount of time actually, especially for the computer science and related branches. You have ample amount of time that you want to, if you want to invest in some other things, which is not exactly present in your curriculum, then also you can do so. It is very much flexible. The curriculum is very much flexible. I mean, it's a common practice that you just pay heed in last few days of the exam, and then you get very good mark in examination. So that's one of the fantastic, and you can say that one of the most advantageous point of engineering, that the curriculum is not very much like complex and all. So like you can prepare the curriculum and all. So you have good amount of, so the reason why I'm explaining these things is that I'm trying to emphasize that you have ample amount of time that you can invest actually in the coding. That's a very great thing. I mean, like having a particular time, like for example, I used to code from 1 a.m. and then I used to stop coding in my college days in second year and third year completely. I used to stop coding at 6 a.m. and then used to sleep by 6 a.m. and then by 10 a.m. I used to like wake up, then by 11 a.m. I've been in college. So that's absolutely fine. For 2 years I followed this practice, and that's all. That's all. You have to practice. If you get stuck at something, you can just ask somewhere. Okay. So I'm just going through the topics. I'm just briefing about the topics which we'll be needing actually. So data structures will be, so we'll be discussing different data structures basically. So data structure is nothing like, I'm just going for a very very layman definition so that each and every one of you can understand. So data is something like, the name itself clarifies very much that in what way you want to structure a particular data. So someone asked me in my sessions, previous session, that what is the best data structure? So that's a very, you can say that like very absurd question, that what is the best data structure? So this is absurd question. Why I'm saying is because what operations you are going to perform on a particular data, that decides what data structure is best in that particular scenario. For example, if you just want to, for example, I'm just taking the example of book self actually. You just want to keep your books, and then the operation which you want to perform is that you want to keep book, and the second operation you want to perform is that you want to remove books from there, right? So the best data structure will be depending on the scenario. For example, if you have a condition something like I want to perform remove operation only from one direction, like I mean like the ground side is like fixed, and you want to perform remove operation only from the front side, then the queue data structure is the best. So for those who do not know, who do not have any idea about the queue data structure, it's something like first in first out. For example, you stand in a queue for a like movie ticket, or you stand in a queue for a railway ticket or whatever. So that's a particular structure of data which we call as queue data structure. So these are the like very very elementary, I mean like very simple data structures. So few data structures we'll be discussing actually: linked list, of course, stacks, queues. So these are the very preliminary data structures, and then we'll be giving a brief idea about these things: linked list, stack, queue, and then we'll be moving towards tree basically. So tree is very important data structures. Why it is important? It is important. Okay, someone has commented that. Okay. Ramchandra, just a note that this is our first session, so I'm just briefing actually. Of course, from the next sessions, we'll be using some kind of slide or something like that. Thanks for your input. Okay, so we'll be using, of course, we'll be getting brief idea about linked list, stack, queue, and then we'll be moving towards tree, which is very important, as I was mentioning. The reason being, it will be using the important concept which I mentioned earlier, known as recursion. The recursion will be used heavily in the trees, and this forms your basic foundation of dynamic programming also. Like it is not only about the tree. The moment you get a very good grasp of recursion in tree, it will be very much helpful in the case of dynamic programming itself also, when we're discussing about algorithms. So yeah, Rakesh will be using C++, of course. We'll be using C++. because the reason why I'll be using C++ is so to all, I will give time to you actually to ask question in the last 20 minutes or something like that. So I mean, like a lot of questions are sequentially being posted on the chat. So if I start answering all, it will be difficult for me to continue the session. So I will give you time. You just write down your questions, and then I'll be giving you time at the end to ask your questions, clarify your questions. Okay. So why I'm saying the tree is very important? For one reason being that we'll be discussing recursion a lot, and recursion is very helpful, not only in the case of tree, not only in the case of dynamic programming, even for other questions also. Some questions you will face that those questions can be directly solved by recursion. I mean, basic recursion, or even some you can say some varieties of recursion, basically some tweaks and twists in recursion, and then the question will be solved. So recursion is very important. Just remember this thing. You have to hone your skill in recursion. That is very, very important. And second point is that you have to have very good grasp on recursion from the interview perspectives. Like the moment someone is asking questions about dynamic programming, you have to state, I mean, they will just ask you a recursive solution, or even they can just tell you that, okay, just give me the formula, recursive formula, that okay, this is the formula by which you are going to solve a particular question. So therefore recursion is very important. 1 minute. Okay, so yeah, so in tree, so tree is not something like so linked list is very simple, stack is very simple, queue is very simple, but the tree is not simple. It looks like tree is very simple, but tree is having like lots of questions will be there in tree, lot of varieties of question, and practice is needed a lot in those things actually. So in tree we have a different tree, like binary tree is there, binary search tree is there. So binary search tree is complete, I mean, you can say like a completely different thing as compared to binary tree, because the things will be different in the case of in the context of operations, in the context of insertion, deletion, or whatever. So tree is a very important. And then we are having graph. So graph is a kind of extension of tree. So again, the moment I say that graph, you need to have very good grasp on trees. Otherwise, it may be difficult for some ad hoc graph questions. So what's the meaning of ad hoc for some students who do not know? Ad hoc means that a question or a topic or a word which do not come under particular category. So it's a kind of, you can say, odd man out, that, okay, like 10 people are from engineering, 10 people are from medical, but one people is preparing for UPSC or something. So that one people is ad hoc, kind of like he do not come under particular category. So here in our context, ad hoc keyword, I will always use this keyword actually, ad hoc question or ad hoc topic or whatever. So ad hoc means that it do not fit actually in a particular topic. Like it do not fit under dynamic programming, it do not fit under a proper stack question, it do not fit under proper any of the proper data structure question. So that's an ad hoc. 1 minute, I need to answer someone. Okay, and then there are other data structures also. Hashing is there, which is just a concept. It's not that a very big deal there. And then some advanced data structure like binary index tree is there. Those things are important because so there comes a real need of a tutor actually, because advanced data structures. So other data structures, like for example, linked list, stack queue, if you spend some hours, then you'll be able to grasp the concept very well. Those concepts, if someone is teaching to you, then it will be very easy actually for you to grasp linked list, stack queue and all. But binary index tree and some other data structures like suffix tree and all, those things, it will be very, very difficult for you to grasp if nobody is, I mean, if nobody is there to guide you. Like it's really difficult. I mean, like I took kind of like many days to grasp one particular data structure when in my time when nobody was there to guide me. So yeah, so advanced data structure is surely a topic which we need to discuss and which is important to you. At least if I can give you a very good amount of idea, good idea that okay, this is the basic principle about the data structure which is working very well with the particular set of data. Anyway, So this was all about the data structures. We will be discussing a little bit. Matrix is a thing, but like it is very simple. The moment I say that, you know a basic. Okay. I'm assuming in this class that everyone is like familiar with at least one language. It should not be the case that like no. I mean, if like any person is not a person is not having idea about any language, whatever C++, Java, Python, whatever it may be. At least he should be having idea. This is the preliminary I'm expecting from you all guys, because you are already in first year or whatever. So even if you are in first year, then also you should be having a little knowledge about the C language. That's it. I do not need any like a very high qualification in a particular language, but at least you should be having knowledge about the for example, people are commenting, students are commenting that I know Python, I know JavaScript. That's fine, absolutely. I just need that you should be knowing some language at least. I mean, personally, I work in Python language in my company, JP Morgan Chase, as a quant researcher, basically at a suite level. So I use Python, but of course, I love C++ because I coded a lot in C++ from my college days. And C++ is important from the context of interviews also, as well as from the context of those who want to learn competitive programming. Why? Two reasons, basically. One reason is that it will be taking less time for a particular operation to being performed. Second reason is that you will be able to code very, very faster actually as compared to other language. So I'm just giving a statistics to prove my statement. If you go to some website, some top website as CodeChef or even some Russian websites, for example, Codeforces is one of the Russian websites where you can start participating in competitions basically, or contests. So you'll see that 99.99% of the people or students or employees or whatever, they are coding in C++. The reason being the same, and the toppers basically they use C++. So like Tourist is the world. You can say that Tourist is the guy on codeforces.com who is like topper in this particular planet, actually on this planet in terms of coding actually, and he uses C++. The reason being he can code up very fast. For example, the same question.
Yes, who is it?
Hello. Someone want to say something?
Yes. Yeah. Please.
Okay. Yeah. I thought someone wants to ask. Anyway, so the reason I'm saying that, so I was mentioning about the Tourist actually. So Tourist is a top coder on Codeforces and he uses C++ for the same reason. I was mentioning that a particular question, if you want to solve a particular question, you have the solution, for example, you know exactly that which data structure, which algorithm you want to use in a particular question, then the same solution can be coded in Java also and C++ also. But to code in Java, it will be taking much more time. Not much, but still. Why? The reason being the syntax is different. Syntax is a little bit clumsy in the case of Java language. But in the case of Python, the syntax is very easy. But then again, there are some things which are like people prefer to use C++. So yeah, I will prefer C++ or Python as the best language for competitive programming, and then the Java, and then the other languages. But from interviews perspective, in an interview, like if a person is asking, if an interviewer is asking, so he expects that you just write a particular solution in any language. It was not anywhere the guidance from the companies that you have to write a particular solution, especially in this language. If that is a solution, then they don't want algorithmic candidate, or they don't want data structure candidate. They want the language specific candidate. So that means that they are not very much focusing on data structure algorithm. But the true fact is that 99.99% of the companies prefer a student who is having good knowledge of data structure algorithm with any language, especially for the freshers. Even in the case of experienced also people, also this validates up to some point. Okay, so so this was all about the brief intro about the data structure, like what data structure we'll be discussing basically. And coming to the algorithm sections, we have different paradigms, you can say. So okay, since many of you are in first year actually, so I want to start from scratch basically. So I'll be also discussing about how to analyze a particular algorithm. So the moment I start saying that I want to analyze a particular algorithm, I mean to say that how much time a particular algorithm will be taking actually is going to take. So that is kind of analysis, and what is the time complexity and all, you already have heard about those things. But yeah, that will be the very basic thing in algorithmic section. And then we'll be moving towards searching, exactly very basic actually, algorithm searching, sorting, and then then we're moving towards the most important section in the algorithm. And in fact, the most important and the most you can say very good topic, dynamic programming, as I was mentioning, that we'll be using recursion actually in this particular topic a lot. So dynamic programming you have to master. You can leave all the topics. If you just master dynamic programming, I can very much confidently say that you can master all the things. I mean, you can crack the interview just because of dynamic programming and trees and all, like recursion. That is what I mean to say. Like recursion is a very important thing. You can say that it is the heart of like these topics, that is algorithm. So dynamic programming is a very important topic in algorithmic section. And then we'll be moving towards the like greedy algorithms, like so greedy algorithms, and then other I mean, a lot of other topics are also there, but these are the like important topics. And then graph algorithms will be there, of course. Little bit mathematical things will be there, which you will be able to understand if you have done your even if you have done 10th 12th standard, like you have passed your 10th 12th standard in mathematics, you'll be able to solve those things. It's just that you need to practice a little bit, that's it. So when I say, so why, the reason why I'm focusing a lot on practice is because just I'm giving the general idea. The moment you will start practicing, actually, you will start facing problem. You will start facing problem in such a way that you will start realizing that I'm not a deserving candidate for this algorithm. So this is what the expression, which is very common for a student of first year, or for a student of second year, third year, fourth year, or even for the experienced people. So this is what a thought process starts coming the moment you start coding a particular question. Why? The reason being that you will not be able to solve a problem initially. So so frustrations will come. I'm just warning you that frustration will come, and it's absolutely normal thing that like you are becoming frustrated. You are thinking that you are not able to deserve to be a very good programmer or something like that. So this is where the difference this is where you are going to be you are going to differentiate yourself from other people. So this is what happens when 100 people starts coding. So 80 people thinks that after a consecutive failure, they feel like I'm not a deserving candidate, and they left coding. Actually, this is what happens in every college. Like even if it is IIT Mumbai computer science department, then also this is what happens actually. Like there's one guy in my team who has got all India rank 12 in IIT JEE, and he was saying to me some days ago the same thing, that the moment we start coding, we feel like, I mean, like if you start solving some dynamic programming question or something like that, you'll feel like I'm not able to solve this question initially, and you'll feel like, okay, let's try some other topic. I mean, let's try some other subjects, not the data algorithm. I will go in some other subject. So that should not be the case with you guys. So I'm just alarming you, I'm just warning you that this is the case which is going to happen with you. So I'm kind of I'm trying to increase your immunity system, that you should be very much aware that frustrations will come, and it's absolutely normal. Like so if you try 100 times, then even if you are not able to solve a question, then also you'll be much ahead than other people, those who left coding after the failure of 10 attempts or something. So so I perform very well on online platforms. For example, on HackerRank, there was a case in December 2015, that I was already ranked 13, and my world rank was within 30. So this is the same guy, Abhilash Rudra, who, when I started coding in my second year, who was not able to solve a problem, and I tried 137 times. Even you can see on CodeChef, the solutions will still exist. Actually, you can see that I have tried 137 times a particular question. I have keep changing the algorithm, or I have keep tweaking the solution, but I was not succeeded after 137 attempts also. So this is absolutely fine if you are not able to solve a question. So I'm again asserting this statement that it's absolutely fine that if you're not able to solve a particular question, it's just a matter of practice. So yeah, so coming to the algorithmic section, yeah. So I briefed about dynamic programming is the most important thing. Most of all basically I would say that if you talk about the Olympiads, so if you talk about ACM ICPC, so ACM is for those who do not know, ACM is an organization just like IEEE. So who do not know about IEEE, IEEE is an organization who publishes research paper related to electronics. I mean, like everything actually, basically in engineering, related to computer science, electronics and all. So similarly, ACM is also a such organization, Association of Computing Machinery, which conducts, which accepts research paper also, and which conducts Olympiads and all these examinations and these competitions actually all over the world. So yeah, so in the ACM ICPC Coding Olympiad, the most important focus will be dynamic programming, and in that recursion. The basic thing will be recursion. So for example, if 5 questions are there, um, sorry, in my time it used to be that 10 questions will be given, and 5 questions out of 10 questions will be of dynamic programming. So you can just assume how much important like recursion and dynamic programming is. So in one more thing, like most of the students master all other topics, like will master the data structure topic, will master the most of the topic in the algorithmic section, and they will leave dynamic programming because they will there will be failure. Actually, in the case of dynamic programming, failure, they will attempt and then they will not be able to succeed. So therefore they do not pay much heed on dynamic programming topic, but it is very important. I'm just reminding you. And then other things are there, backtracking and all. Even in the case of backtracking also, you have to have a very good sense and good idea about the recursion, because recursion is the only thing in backtracking in a different sense. And then divide and conquer approach is there. But yeah, yeah. So this is the topics which will be, of course, going to discuss in our coming sessions. And today, I'm going to discuss a little bit about, so this was all about the brief. I'm going to discuss a little bit of linked list basically. And I want to, okay, let me all, I just want to, okay, I wanted to copy a link actually. Okay. Okay. Yeah. But okay, okay. Let me message to all. Okay. Satyam is here. Satyam, I messaged you link actually. If you can see on your chat box, please share to all. Because I see that, Satyam, can you hear me? Okay, you are mute, of course. So if you can see in my chat box, I message you collaborate link actually. I just want you to share to all, because I do not say, okay, let me try another. All, okay. Everyone, yeah, I got it. Just wait a second, just pasting. So all of you, can you please open this link actually? I've just messaged in the chat box to all. And just, okay, I feel like you will not be able to reply me back there. Okay, okay. Oh yeah, a lot of people are there. Yes, that's good. Please don't write anything to that. And please do not change the language. Someone has changed to CPP. Let it be. Let it be. Please do not write anything on the editor actually. If you can hear me all, please do not write anything on the editor. Okay, let me write this thing on the editor itself. Please do not write anything here. Okay. 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 I think a lot of people have joined actually. Yeah. Yeah. Seems like, yeah. Yeah. So if you want to chat with me on Collaborate, you can just chat. You can just type message there, chat here. There's option you can see. Let me ping all. Hi all. Okay. If you want to chat or something, you can just post it there itself. No need to post on the even you will not be able to post on the. Yeah, please don't write anything there. Hello, folks, or whatever. Okay. So for this reason, I'm using this particular platform. So the reason why I have choose this particular Collaborate is because most of the companies will be taking your interviews using only two things. For example, if you talk about some companies, they'll be using some other platform. Maybe they'll be using some other platform, but most of the companies use this particular platform to for the first round of interview. For example, they will say to you that for phonic round or even the video calling round, they will open this editor, basically online editor, and they will say to you that please they'll provide you a question. Actually, they will paste the question here itself. Sorry. And they will say to you that, okay, please start writing the solution there. So two benefits are there. If the interviewer writes, if the interviewer says to you that please write the solution here, one benefit is that he can see you the speed. Actually, he can see you the exact speed with which you are writing. Actually, it matters. Actually, the person who has coded a lot, he can write things very fastly. Actually, so from that only, interviewer can have a sense that he has practiced a lot actually in C++, whatever language you're choosing, independent of the language, but the speed matters. It makes it shows a good impression. It makes a good impression in the eyes of interviewer. And the second reason that whatever you are editing, what you are deleting, or each and everything you are writing there, interviewer will be able to see you how you are writing the code. So he will be able to grasp about each and everything, about the language also, about the solution also, and everything. And after that thing, he will just go through a solution line by line. He will execute. He will take a. So this is what generally happens in the interviews. He will just take a simple test case, basically, and he will write the test case, and then he will keep on iterating on that particular test case with your solution, whether your solution is acting or not. And then he will choose some corner cases for those people who do not know corner cases. Corner cases mean that as simple as this. For example, someone told you to divide, or to write a program to perform a division, simple division operator. So, and then he provides you an input a by b. I mean to say, he told to you that please divide 6 by 2. The answer is 3. And then he will take example of 6 by 0. So that is not possible. So he will just check that whether your code is handling this particular case or not. So this is a very very simple example of a corner case example, 6 by 0. So your code should be able to handle that case. It should not be that it will go in hang position if you are your code will hang actually if you are not if you are not managing this particular scenario or this particular test, this particular corner case. So that's all. Anyway, so okay, so this is all, and it's 6:43. Okay, so okay, let me check with Board Infinity. Yeah. Could you please unmute? I just want you guys. Oh, I think I can unmute. I can. Yeah, I can. Okay. But I unmute all. Yes. In silence. Okay. I am Board Infinity. Okay, wait. Just 1 minute. I'm just messaging. In the meanwhile, you can start thinking about your questions. I will be just giving you 5 minutes to ask your questions in the chat box. Allow all to post here. Allow participants to unmute on entry. No. Okay, 1 minute. Till the time you can ask of the questions which you want to ask specifically. Since this first session, so I want that like you guys ask a lot of questions so that I can come to know that, okay, what are his aspirations? What do you want to know exactly from me in the further sessions or something like that? I'm just calling the administrator here so that can allow all people to comment there. Just wait a minute. I just wanted to check, can you guys post your questions in the chat box? I assume no, but I just want to test one more times.
Sorry, Abhilash, were you looking for something?
Yeah. I just want that. Yeah. It feels like it is working now. I just want all to post their questions actually in the chat box. Okay.
Fantastic. So before you continue, Abhilash, I just wanted audience to be very precise while we speak today. Since this is the first lecture, so this is the introduction that we are keeping. Today, most probably, we are not coding, right, Abhilash?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is the introductory session of 1 hour today. From tomorrow, everyone be ready with your compiler and laptops. We would be coding simultaneously in the class as well. And I request the audience to ask only relevant questions. Please do not ask any irrelevant question here in the chat box. The only reason why chat was just disabled was because you people were not focusing on learning, right? The only single goal why all of us are here today is to learn, right? Great. Abhilash, we can continue.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going through the questions. So Sivam is asking best online compiler. So so in terms of your aspirations or interview and all those things, so best online compiler is CodeChef, I would say, because you'll take part in the competitions there. So CodeChef is a website, codechef.com, and they have a very good you can say online editor itself there, and it will be compatible to all languages, mostly all the languages. At least major languages, C++, Java, Python, and other languages, other important languages. So I would say that the online compiler, it does not matter, or basically you can use CodeChef. So what is the tool that we'll be using to code? How long this course will be using? Oh, wait. Okay, let me go up. People are okay. Here I go. Okay, just wait. I just want to first of all solve. Yeah, what is the tool that we'll be using to code? So the tool will be ColabEdit, will be the best actually, and sometimes we'll be it's a kind of mixture. Like we'll be sometimes using CodeChef online editor, as I was mentioning, and then sometimes we can use ColabEdit, and then like ColabEdit and CodeChef will be the mostly the one. This was the question of okay, and then okay, Fahad Khan. So this is what. And then how long this course will run. So this will be kind of mostly I'll be covering all the topics, all the important topics in data source algorithm. So I'm not sure what is your exact question. So how long this course will run in terms of today. So I will say that it will be going to till 8 p.m. today. This is what I know from the administrator. And then the next question of Aditya Dutt, will be coding AVL trees and B-tree and graphs? Yes, absolutely. AVL trees are the important thing. We'll be comparing. So the important questions, I'm just going to be brief about your question actually. So AVL tree, the moment you start saying about the AVL trees, what are the things which you need to know? So of course we'll be coding I will be coding actually, but the thing which interviewers will be interested in AVL tree will be something like they will ask you that what is the difference between AVL trees and red black trees, and they will not ask the simple differences. They are going to ask, okay, in what sort of scenarios we'll be using AVL trees, in what sort of scenarios we are going to use red black trees. The preference will be what and when actually. So these are the fundamentals. The answer of this question lies in the fundamentals of the red black tree and then the AVL trees. So those things you have to be knowing actually. And then of course they can ask you to code a particular operation. For example, they can say you that, okay, how we insert in a particular AVL tree actually. Then you have to code, and then you need to know about, I mean, like the insertion operations, how we do actually for different types of trees actually. In that also, there are different categories in the AVL trees. For example, in insertion itself, if it is binary searched, if a particular node is having both the children, then there is an insertion in a different way. And then if it is not having any children, then the case is different, and like that. So, so of course, we'll be discussing about AVL trees. B trees, of course, we'll be discussing, but we'll not be going a lot in coding. The reason why, I mean, of course, I can code, but the reason why I'm saying I will not going in too deep in the B trees is because most of you it will be difficult for you to grasp actually a lot of things in B trees. So what I can say is that one thing of course we can do is something like you can read B trees on your own, and then I can discuss. Why I'm saying, because it will be more fruitful to you. If you're not knowing about a particular topic, and then the moment I will teach you in 1 hour or something, you'll not be able to grasp a lot of things. So for B trees, I will recommend that you also on your side, you also grasp a lot of things on B trees beforehand, of course. But yeah, of course, we will not going a lot deep in B trees. Additionally, I guarantee you that no company will expect from you that you will be, you'll be able to code B trees, instantly or something. So that's cool. Graphs, of course, we'll be coding graphs because graph is important. Okay, so next question. Okay, why we use tree? We'll be discussing more in of course, tree section. We use tree for many of the reasons actually. We use trees in the case of graphs also. We use trees for the applications everywhere actually, most of the cases. For example, in my case, for someone, I just remember that someone wrote their JavaScript. So in JavaScript, a lot of the operations in the front end actually, for example, if you want to know that, let me take the best example. The best example will be something like, for example, our DNA tests. So our DNAs, for example, if you want to compare two DNAs and both the DNAs are lying in some, it matches a little bit and then it does not match, and you want to compare how much it matches and all other things, then also we use trees to a lot of extent. So trees are very important. Just keep in this mind, trees are very important in a lot of the cases. Not only, so trees are not independent. Like in graphs also you'll be using trees. Other programming also, like in the algorithmic section, for example, in the case of backtracking also, sometimes it may be possible that we'll be using the concepts of trees. So, okay, a lot of questions are coming. I'm just answering. Best ID for C++. That's it. CodeChef. Please use CodeChef 1, because I want you to be familiar with CodeChef more and more so that you can practice there in a very well way. I use Visual Studio Code. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely fine. In companies, you have to use Visual Studio only. So in organization, in industry, people use Visual Studio only mostly. What will be the duration of this course? Of course, I mentioned 8 p.m. and then what is the syllabus? Also, how are the sessions planned? Like, you will teach us a data structure algorithm, and then we do questions. So we'll not. So I'm the person who focuses more on the practice section. As you might have grasped the more about me actually. So I'll be discussing very little actually, 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll be discussing problems, basically few problems. Of course, we cannot cover all problems, and it is not possible. It is not possible even in 1 hour to cover all the problems of all the topics. So we'll be discussing a particular section actually for a few minutes or 10 minutes or something, and then we'll be directly jumping to a question, how to solve a question, how to think about a particular problem. So this will be my approach, and this is the approach a person should follow while learning a particular data structure algorithm. So yeah, so this was a question of Vinit Jha, and then a lot of questions. Okay, yeah, I got it. Where I'm. What about machine learning algorithm? So machine learning algorithms. So I'm currently working in some of the machine learning part in my current company as a quant researcher. So of course, in this particular session is specific to data structure algorithm. We'll be not discussing about machine learning algorithms. Yeah, Akash Desai, that was your question. But yeah, if you are good at DS and Algo, if you are in college, then of course the company will hire you. I mean, like they will be asking basic machine learning stuff, actually basic machine learning questions that you can very much prepare from any of the website. I can mention, you can directly message to me, and they'll be like, for example, if they're taking you 4 interviews, then one of the interviews they can ask machine learning stuff, and then in other interviews they'll be asking you to code. So the important part is, even if you want to go in machine learning section, then also you have to be like at least a fair amount of idea of data science algorithms. Okay, so Akash's question is that, is it better to use online compiler or offline compiler? The moment you will start preparing or start coding on online competitions, actually, you'll be more habitual towards online compilers basically. But yeah, both are fine. Offline compiler, it does not matter which compiler. Okay. Any platform you can use while practicing? Yeah, of course. Saurabh question is that any platform you can use for while practicing. CodeChef is the best one, and CodeChef is the best one at this moment, or Codeforces. CodeChef and Codeforces are the 2 things which I will say for those students who are in their first, second, third year. For those who want to directly jump towards interview section, like they want to prepare specifically for interviews, they can jump. They should not go for CodeChef and Codeforces. I do not recommend. For those who want to just, basically those who are having enough time. By enough time, I mean to say those who are having more than I would say, yeah, 6 months, at least 6 months, more than 6 months if you're having, then you can go for CodeChef and Codeforces. If you're having less than 6 months, then please go towards Geeks for Geeks, or not Geeks for Geeks. I do not recommend Geeks for Geeks. I will say LeetCode is the website, best website, best website till now. So LeetCode is the best website you can practice. LeetCode is one of them, and then other websites also there. But I prefer that LeetCode. Why I'm saying LeetCode? Because the test cases on LeetCode are very strong actually. What happens in the case of Geeks for Geeks, the test cases are not very strong. So even if you code a solution and it passes, and you become very happy, very jolly that, okay, I solved the question, and then with the same mindset, actually, you solve that particular question. So suppose that particular question someone asks again in the interview, and you just code that solution, and he says that, okay, for this particular test case is failing, then like it will be very difficult for you to come up with a new solution at that moment. So it's better to practice on a platform which is having much stronger test cases, which is LeetCode. So yeah. Sir, can you tell us what is the basically difference between product-based and service company? Yeah, good question, very good question. Which type of company will you prefer? If you want a good standard package of 10 plus lakh per annum, then how should we prepare for that? It also depends on like in which year you are. I'm assuming that you are a 1 to 3rd year college. I mean, like you are in first year, second year, or third year in your college days. So the basic difference between product-based and service company is that service companies do not pay much. That is the one of the difference. I mean, like this is a very prominent difference actually. So this is one of the difference. It will not pay you much. Why they will not pay you much? Because the type of work which you do in service-based company do not worth a lot. I mean, like those things, how should I say? Okay, like for example, if I'm having a very good knowledge of data science algorithm, then also I will not be able to utilize those knowledge actually in the service-based company, like in most of the cases, not true for all, but yeah, in most of the cases. So therefore, I mean, like if the work complexity is not too high, of course they are not going to pay you a lot of salary, right? So this is the difference between service-based and product-based company. The main difference, definition-wise, is that service-based companies provide service to other things. Like for example, I made a website actually, right? Now I have made the website, right? Now someone should be there who is just maintaining the website, like simple things. He's just doing simple things in the already built product basically. So website is product here in my case, in my example. So service-based companies will be doing this kind of stuff, while product-based company will be building their products, and they will be kind of keep enhancing their products in terms of like they will be adding additional features and all. So therefore, product-based companies are able to provide you more package. So 10 lakh package is not a very very good package. I don't know, according to me. But I would say that yeah, you can earn that much. The only thing then, how should we prepare for that? So you need to be very good in data algorithm. With only these 2 topics, you can land in a company who can provide you more than 10 lakh per annum, irrespective of the college. Even if you are not from IIT, NIT or BITS, even if you are for a very third grade college in India, then also you can do very well in terms of like product-based companies, interviews and all. So the only thing is a data algorithm. I'm supporting my statement with the example of Anudip Nikanti. So Anudip Nikanti was a person in 2014 approx. So he was he was from a third grade college basically, and he practiced data science algorithm in such a better way that he basically he represented India in Olympiad basically, and he got placed in Google actually, and he got I think more than 1 crore package, and he was neither from NIT or like some good college or something, like he was from ANITS. I think ANITS is their college in South India, and I mean, like people started knowing that college after Anudip Nikanti only. So you can search more about Anudip Nikanti. So that is absolutely possible. Why recursion is important? Recursion is important because it comes in many forms. So recursive question is one topic. Then in dynamic programming also you should be having a good concept of recursion. Then in trees also you should be having a good grasp on recursion. A lot of other topics like backtracking also you should be having a good grasp on recursion. So therefore recursion is important. Like you can say that, I mean, I would say that algorithm and data structure, like 50% is like algorithmic section at least, 50% of the interview questions will be some kind of recursion will be there. So recursion is very important. So that was a Himanshu question. Hina, application-based example would be appreciated as the clear concept in data structure. Application-based examples would be appreciated as the clear concepts, in data structures. Of course, I'll be giving examples, live examples, or like day-to-day examples from the company, from product-based company itself. Whenever we'll be coding data structure, yeah, I'll be doing that. But I was not able to grasp the exact meaning of application-based example. Maybe you can post, Hina. Maybe you can post again what you mean exactly by this statement. We'll be covering the syllabus for placements. Being frank and being honest, C1 question is that we'll be covering the syllabus for placements. Being frank, I would say that I will teach you how to tackle how to start thinking a particular question in every section, like in algorithmic section, data structure section, in dynamic programming, recursion, how to think, how to tackle. But you should be the person who will be practicing actually, and you should be the person who will be responsible for your success. So I'll be just guiding you. So yeah. So I'll be just like today's session. I mean, I just gave you a little bit about interview process, basically what happens in interview section. That like they demand, just like they don't demand the language, they just demand that you should be able to know the logic of a particular problem. So yeah, I'll be guiding you towards the interview section also. But yeah, I mean, of course, as per time. And okay. Let me go for the next question. Okay, this I covered this question. Okay. Please do not post new questions. I think there are plenty of the questions here till now. I'll just answer them and then we can go for next questions. From which platform user is this? Sir, there is pseudocode. Sorry, I did not guess your question, Akash. From which platform you used to practice? I used to practice from Codeforces and CodeChef mostly. But to remind you that I was in first year end or second year. So if you are in final year and the placement season is going to start in few months, then you should come to LeetCode, or you can take help from Geeks for Geeks a little bit. So yeah, this is the difference. If you are in first to third year, then the CodeChef and Codeforces are recommended. Otherwise, if placement is very near, then do not land on CodeChef and Codeforces. It is a like long-term thing. So you can go to LeetCode actually, you can practice and you can excel in your interviews. And that is the like main gist. Okay, from please do not post new questions. Please hear carefully other questions also, because like most of the questions are like relevant. Like you need to have answer to those questions too. Total length of this DSA course, it will be approximately 20 hours. Are we going to learn basic concepts today? Looking at the number of questions, I think no, or maybe very little bit or something, because I need to answer a lot of the other questions. Will we complete this course? Okay, let me first of all change this one. Just wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. So the next question says like, total, will we complete this course within 10 or 20 days? Yeah, 20 days we'll be able to complete approximately. Sir, I practice on online platform. I get stuck sometime. Can I get the help to solve those problems with which I struggle? Yep, Rohit Raj's question is that you practice on online platforms already and get stuck sometime. Yeah, I can guide you. I can guide you about the way you think actually about a particular question. I can guide you that, okay, this particular question is from that particular topic, and you should start thinking about that topic, or you should start learning about a particular new data structure. Of course, I can do that. You can just message me on my LinkedIn. You can search my LinkedIn profile. You can just Google Abhilash Rudra. You will get each and everything about me. You can just also search me on LinkedIn, whatever you feel like, on all the platforms basically. You can message me on LinkedIn. I will be like much more available on LinkedIn, so I can at least guide you if I get some time. Yeah, that I'll appreciate that. That's not a big issue, because I already do that for my college juniors. Length of this course, I already mentioned. What topics should we refer before joining next session? Oh yeah, that's the very important question. Yeah, so it seems like Akash Desai is very much interested, because this is one of the important question which you should ask, that before coming to next session, what is the thing which we want to like prepare beforehand or something. So of course you can linked list, stack and queue. Linked list basics, so from where you study. So since it is all about the basics actually, so you can go for Gigs for Geeks. Like Gigs for Geeks is famous in the market, but it's not the best website to learn each and everything about data algorithms. So but yeah, for basics actually you can go for Gigs for Geeks. For linked list, stack queue. If you get some material, what else? Since these are a basic topic, so I will not recommend any like heavier website or any like a very complex tutorial or something like that. So linked list is like very simple. Linked list, stack queue. So those you can prepare from Gigs for Geeks. That will be like suffice. That will suffice. Okay. The next question is, will you help us improving on HackerRank, any of the platform, the other platform profile? Looking at the course structure and all, I think I will not be able to get to improve a particular person's platform profile. So yeah, like HackerRank or whatever. But yeah, I'll be recommended CodeChef and Codeforces. They are good, but it does not mean that HackerRank and HackerEarth are not good. These platforms are also good. But yeah, I mean, like if you have time, then I recommend that Codeforces and CodeChef, because that is the website. Why the reason? Because CodeChef and Codeforces, people do it for fun. People do it for learning basically. For I have observed something like for HackerRank and HackerEarth case, people go for those websites just for interview preparation. And most of the cases, not all at least, but yeah, most of the cases this happens. I have observed. Also, Codeforces on Codeforces platform, Codeforces and CodeChef, both the platforms, you will come to know about a lot of great programmers of your year. For example, I mean, I graduated in 2016, so my programmers from my year are already working in the companies I know all over the world, like from Google to each and every like product-based companies. So yeah, for your year, you'll come to know about many good people, actually many good programmers. You can see their solutions basically, right? So that will be great actually for you. So therefore, I recommend Codeforces and CodeChef. But it does not mean that, I mean, like other websites are like bad or something like that. Okay. So yeah. Sir, will you HackerRank? Okay. So I'm interested. Okay, this seems to be a private question. Compulsory. More focus on. So for Akash question, data structure algorithm is must for all, but yeah, parallelly you can learn a little bit. You can keep learning a little bit machine learning algorithms too, but yeah, data structure algorithm is must actually, because if some company is taking you for machine learning engineer, even in the case of LinkedIn or so Google or whatever company may be, LinkedIn or whatever. So if they're hiring for machine learning engineering, then also they will expect you that they will expect at least that you know the basics of data algorithm, and then they can go for like machine learning interview round actually. So yeah, that is important. Algorithm is important because you are not a very experienced person that they will not pick like they will not ping you in the case of data algorithm. So yeah, it is must actually. So can we register multiple courses at a time in Board Infinity? This is the question for this is the question which should be answered by Mukund, or like administrator of the Board Infinity. So you can message Board Infinity is the person here itself in the present in the chat. So Kapil, you can message Board Infinity basically. Do not ask the questions which I have already answered, similar question or something. Okay, so which is better, learning new topic? Okay, yes, question is that which is better, learning new topic or practicing for same topic which we know to get sharp much in that? I'm as well stuck in this both, sir. Yeah, very good question. I also used to stuck in this particular one, so everyone can hear very attentively. This is an important question. Which is better, learning new topic or practicing for same topic? So there should be balance actually, like but yeah, learning new topic for same topic which we know to get sharp much in that. Important topics, for example, dynamic programming, for example, tree. So these topics are very important. So this topic you have to sharp actually, but at the same time, so therefore I said that there should be a balance actually. At the same time, you have to learn new topics actually. For example, there are a lot of different data structures which I did not mention. For example, union find data structure is very important data structure. So of course you all guys should know about that data structure. So yeah, learning new data structure is always good, yes, but yeah, at the same time you have to be very good in practice sense actually, in terms of dynamic programming and the other important topics in data algorithms. From where we can study data algorithm? This is a very generic question. From where we can study? Himanshu question is that there is no particular one website from which you can learn everything actually. For example, so binary search. So most of the people might be knowing about the binary search. Binary search is somewhere if an array is given and the data is given in array, and we want to, and the array is sorted by means that it will always in increasing condition or decreasing condition, and we want to search for a particular element, then we can just search in login, basically time complexity. So this is the binary search which you know, but if you go to Topcoder website, then you will come to know about the new dimensions of binary search. Binary search can be used in many other topics also. So therefore there is no one website from which you can learn everything. So to mention most of the important website, CodeChef is the important website, Codeforces. So there are blogs in CodeChef actually which you can learn from, where you can learn actually. CodeChef, discuss.codechef.com. There is another alternate website of CodeChef only, from where you can see the discussions about a particular problem. So CodeChef, Codeforces blogs, top code tutorials are there for some of the advanced data structures. Those are important. And there one Russian website is there. The exact website I will post you in coming sessions. That is important, but you have to translate all the like Russian language in English. That's possible from the web browser itself. So that is one of the important. And then I mean, like there are some blogs are there, independent blogs are there. So those things I can for things I'm having. So from where I studied a few years back. So those are important. So yeah, I will do that. That's my problem. Then again, Abhinav, advanced algorithms. Not all advanced algorithm, of course. I mean, like algorithm do not have an end actually. You'll keep on learning algorithm, and then it will not come to end basically. So in advanced algorithms, not all, but the important ones which are very important for interview purpose, those things I will just discuss in brief actually, that what you need to prepare. But practice you have to do, as I mentioned earlier. Which is better? Okay, this done. From where we can study? Okay, then most important DS topic asked in interviews. So most important data structure topics asked in an interview. It depends on interview to interview. If you talk about the Amazon company, it will ask mostly trees, Okay, dynamic programming will not come in the category of data structures. So trees are the like one of the thing I've observed. Trees and array, I would say trees and array, they ask a lot. Like my roommates are in Amazon and Google, so from their interview experience, I say that trees is the is the important thing which they ask most. Trees and array questions. In array, I mean like in array, more than like 1,000 variety of questions are there. So they can ask you, I mean like large variety of questions which you should practice actually beforehand, most of them at least. So I would say array and trees are the most important topics in data structure. Yes, we can register for multiple courses. Okay, Kirti has mentioned that you can register for multiple courses. There is Abhilash Rudra from Bethia on LinkedIn. Is this you, sir? Yep, exactly. Rohit Raz, yeah, Abhilash Rudra from Bethia on LinkedIn. Yeah, I am that person. So Abhilash Rudra should be unique on LinkedIn, I think. So I am the one. Best online platform to learn new data structure. Best online platform to learn new data structure. Same thing, CodeChef and Codeforces. So yeah, but Codeforces, one thing you need to notice in Codeforces, I'm not talking about division 2 or something. I'm talking about the lowest level of competitions basically on Codeforces. So there blocks. So in Codeforces, mostly the difference between CodeChef and Codeforces is that not a very not a very rigid difference, but yeah, mostly on Codeforces your speed will be enhanced actually. Like there will be no specific use of a particular data structure, but if you keep practicing on Codeforces, your speed will be enhanced to a much more, I mean like much more extent actually. You will be able to, so what I mean is that you will be able to code a particular solution in very fast way, that you can think, like your thinking capabilities will become very fast actually. But to learn a particular new data structure, you have to go with the like different websites basically, like CodeChef, as I mentioned, CodeChef, discuss.codechef.com is one of the website, and then blogs are there on CodeChef. You go to the independent blogs basically. So the way which I used to follow is something like you just Google a particular topic, union, for example, union find data structure I want to study. So you search that union find data structure, and then you will see a lot of websites, and then you choose the blogs, and you can confirm from me also that whether that blog. So mostly before 2 years, whatever blogs are present on Google for all the data structure, I know I a little bit know that how important or how is the quality of that particular blog about a particular data structure. So you can confirm from me, and also I can post. That is not a big deal. I can post and I can message that. So I will keep posting about the links and all the moment I will progress in the sessions basically. For example, if I am talking about the trees, so I'll post all the questions, important question, or all the blogs which are important to know about trees to you actually in this particular sessions, like in tree section. For Microsoft and Google, important topics. So for Microsoft and Google, I mentioned that like dynamic programming is the most important topic for Google, but Google can ask anything basically. So two of my roommates are in Google. One is in machine learning branch, machine learning department, and then other is like in web development. So for Google, they can ask anything. So you have to be really good in terms of data algorithm. So it may be possible that they will say you to code a particular pointer question in C language. They can ask you that you basically linked list. I mean to say that they can say you to implement a linked list or insertion of a linked list or insertion of a node actually in between a linked list actually. So they can give you simple question also, but then they will observe the quality of your code, that it should not fail in any of the scenario actually. I mean like no corner cases should be missed actually. So Google can ask anything, but from Microsoft, like Google is the most, you can say that most difficult, like technical interview will be there in Google, and in DirectEye company also. Google and DirectEye interviews are, you can say that similar, like the difficulty level will be kind of matching actually. Like yeah, for Microsoft, it's bit easy actually. For bit easy in the sense that it is also tough only. Bit easy in the sense that you have to practice a lot in terms of data algorithm. So important topics for Microsoft, same topic like trees, arrays, trees, and then algorithm. But they can ask a lot of other things also. I mean, you have to practice a lot for Microsoft type of like company. In Microsoft also it depends actually. If they're providing only 10 lakh, then it means that they do not, like if you're planning for Microsoft, then the package will be something like bit more than 12 lakh at least. So if they are providing you 8 lakh or 10 lakh, then that means that the interview level, difficulty of the interview level will not be that much. And the post will not be from development center. Like Microsoft does not always mean that software engineer. Microsoft can mean a lot to you. Like it can be an IT developer, it can be a supporter, it can be an analyst or something like that. So be careful. Like Yeah, but for software engineer post in Microsoft, you have to be really good in terms of arrays, trees, algorithms, like dynamic programming algorithms. I mean, basically you have to be very, very good in important topics, basically. Like in algorithms also, other topics are also there. Like you have to know, basically you need to know all the topics. It also depends on luck, actually. For example, like you missed one topic and they ask that particular topic only in the interview, then that's a bad luck to you. So that varies. But yeah, you have to be really, really good. Is the learning session over for today? I think it will be over in half an hour. But yeah, it looks like we'll not be able to discuss, we'll not be able to start coding, or we will not be able to start like learning linked list today. Suggest YouTube channel for data structure algorithm. YouTube channel for data structure algorithm. For example, so I followed some of them but I will discuss with you about the YouTube channels basically the moment I land our sessions in advanced data structures or advanced algorithm basically. Before that, you do not need to go to a YouTube channel unnecessarily. I mean, like of course, if you want to deep dive, then of course you can learn additionally, but it is not required. Like for basic things, like this session and the practice will be sufficient, and the blogs which will be able to, which will be providing to you all. So no specific YouTube channel for now. Can you share the resources from where you learned and prepare name of topics from tomorrow's lecture? Can you share the sources from where you learned? Of course, I will share and prepare name of topics for tomorrow's. Yeah, sure. So tomorrow, like of course, sure. From tomorrow, I'll be doing that practice. But yeah, for tomorrow, we'll be discussing about linked list basically. Linked list and stack I am planning to cover tomorrow. So yeah, you can go through of course linked list basics and stacks. So mostly what we'll be doing is something like I'll be discussing few important questions from those two topics. Like I'll be discussing few questions from the topic of linked list, few questions from the topic of stacks basically. So that will be tomorrow's session. So this was a Hardik question. Any question which I missed you want to ask again? Okay, sounds cool. Yeah, I think I've covered all the questions. Yep. Okay. Timing for tomorrow class. Okay. Timing for tomorrow class will be, so tomorrow is Sunday. So so my plan is that in the weekend we can, okay. So tomorrow it will be same timing. I will prefer that 6 to 8 p.m. 6 to 8 p.m. will be the timing for tomorrow's session. Like same as today one, like 6 to 8 p.m. will be good enough. So Kapil question is that which book can we prefer for basics? Kapil, I do not recommend book actually, because you are anyway going to spend a very good amount of time in books actually. So rather than spending time in books, you can directly jump to a problem and you can start thinking, and do not get disappointed. Do not get disappointed when I mention that. It means that the moment you are failing to solve a question, do not get disappointed. So no books actually. Rather than books, you follow these things. Why I'm saying this? Because like the amount of benefit which you can get from different blogs, different websites, or different YouTube even lectures also is very, very far more than the amount of benefit you can get from books actually. So I mean, like I do not recommend for going for books. So rather than going for books, you just go for the blogs which I mentioned in different sessions. Any suggestion for us to extract the maximum benefit? So to extract the maximum benefit, you need to have good grasp on that particular topic beforehand only. I mean, so being honestly, I'm saying, like, it is not that I will teach you something in 1 hour, 2 hours in a day for a particular topic, and you will be able to grasp all from my session actually. It is not like that. Just be clear with this. It is not like that I will tell you in 1 to 2 hours for a particular topic and you will be like expert level or something. You are the person responsible for your for your coding expertise actually. So you have to practice. So to expertise more, you need to have very good grasp already. So that I would say, like, you can practice more basically. So so for example, if I say you that, okay, these are the 10 questions which you can practice more on your side after this session. So you should, I mean, like you should practice all of them. Same as coaching institutes, basically you should practice all of them. If you are getting stuck at somewhere, then you can ask me question. Even I'm open to you on LinkedIn basically, so you can ask me. I mean, as time permits, I can answer you, or at least I can guide you in those questions. So practice more. That is my advice. Practice more and more. The more you practice, the more expert you become. That's it. Some mandatory tips for freshers. The same thing which I iterated all over this session actually in the first session, that you have to practice and don't get frustrated. Even if you try to solve a particular question 10 times or 100 times and you are failing, then also you do not need to become frustrated. Like it happens, like it's happened. It's a natural phenomenon that you'll not be able to solve a particular question initially. So which skills are required to get into Google and Microsoft? So the gist is that focus more on the your part, focus more on the practice part, right? More and more on practice part. And the skills which are required to get into Google and Microsoft is data structure, algorithm, and in one language. So these are the sufficient skills by which you can get into Google and Microsoft. Basic language like C++. Of course, I mean, if you'll code for more than 6 months in a particular language, you will be like good enough in a particular language. So C++, take C++ as a good language, and then with the help of C++ language, you expertise in data algorithms. That will be best actually. Like that's it. I mean, whatever, Google, Microsoft, any company actually, that will be best. So yeah. Are you going to do any project? Dheeraj question is that, are you going to do any project in this course? No, I'm not going to do any project. I'm going to do more practice kind of stuff, which will be important for competitive programming as well as interview. So yeah, project thing, we are not discussing any latest technology or something like that, or some database technology or whatever. Like we are not going to do a particular project actually in this particular course. That is not relevant basically. That is what I mean to say. So therefore no. So Himanshu question is that C++ vs Java, which is good? Both are good basically. So C++ is good in terms C++ is good in these things, like the data algorithms. In taking part in a particular competitive programming, everyone recommends C++ because it is fast to type in C++, but it is not it will be taking a lot of time to code in Java actually. But time is very time limits are there in terms of your complexity of code also, and in terms of the time limit issued also. For example, if there is a contest which longs for only 2 hours, and or let us say 60 minutes only, 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, then it matters a lot that who is typing fastly. So in Java, for example, even if you want to print a statement, then you have to write somewhere, you have to write a lot of lengthy statements. If someone is not comfortable very much in English, then he can say that I can use Hindi also a little bit in the lecture. I'm very much comfortable in both the languages. That is not a barrier. So yeah, but C++ is good in that sense, data algorithm, till you enter in the company. After entering the company also, there are a lot of companies which uses C++. It is not that I mean, C++ is it is an older language, so nobody uses C++. For example, our operating system is made in C++. For example, all the network drivers today, all the drivers basically today also are being coded in C++. All the network latency means delay actually. So all the network things are coded in C++. So there are innumerable uses of C++. So I am from financial background. In JP Morgan Chase is the largest bank in the world according to asset capital. I mean market capitalization, and it's the largest bank according to asset size and all in US actually. So in JP Morgan, only 2 languages are important in financial terms: Python and C++. So C++ is important because of speed wise and other things actually. And Java is good for development purpose. But Java is good for development purpose surely. It has a very wide range of libraries, existing libraries, which you can utilize to develop new technologies. So Java is good, but the thing is that Java started charging basically. So Oracle has started charging. Java is not free now. So if someone is starting a company, then he will think a lot before choosing Java. Why? Because you can do a lot of things in Python too. Python is also having a very wide range of libraries. So there are pros and cons of each and every language. But yeah, Java is having their own pros and cons, and C++ is having their own pros and cons. But in these things, data algorithm, C++ is the best. will there be separate doubt session organized, or we have to contact you personally for doubts? Since time is fixed actually, so do not get much involved in doubt sessions with me actually in this particular fixed time slot. Why? Because then you will not be able to know, okay, these are also the important topics. Since I mean, like, of course the timing is fixed, so if I keep focusing more on doubt things, then I will miss some topics actually. So it will be better that you contact me personally or something, or you practice more actually, then you can contact sometimes to me. But yeah, do not I do not recommend that we start keeping doubt sessions separately, because doubts will be specific to you, because the problem will be like you will be discussing a particular, I mean, like, your problem will not be a common problem for all actually. So that is the reason I do not recommend. Abhinav says that Abhinav says that let's start today's session. Of course, I need to start, but some questions I just wanted to clear, Abhinav, so that we'll be well prepared from the mind wise actually. Mindset should be very much important actually in these things. So I just wanted to like go like this actually. And I'll be starting linked list from tomorrow, Abhinav. So that will be good for all. Hardik's question is the Python or C++. Python or C++, both are important, but let's stick to C++ for all. Please provide real world examples along with topics discussed. Okay, sure. So I wonder a lot of many times about the role one plays as software engineer in any company. Rohit, this question is that Rohit company's question is that what fresher exactly does in this profile. So freshers, it depends company to company, but if you talk about the product based company, and if you're a software developer there, then you'll be writing code actually. Like for example, in my first company, in my fax research system, I was a fintech company. So there I used to write a code in C++. So since I was good in C++, I choose that company because there was a requirement in C++. So I used to write C. So the whole backend development was written in C++, and one command line job was there in C++. So I used to write like C++ same things. Like I used to use templates in the company, in the industry code. But the thing is that you will be like very much careful while writing the code in the industry actually. It's completely different from writing code like now, like you're writing a particular code for a particular solution. So it will not be the case with the industry code. Like there we will be like, we'll be much stricter than whether we are missing any test case or not, whether we are missing any corner cases and all those things. So it's like that. So like we'll be coding basically, that's it. Okay, I think I covered all of the questions. So we have 32, so we have 25 minutes. And so from tomorrow, so 2-hour session will not be regular because like other things are also there. So I'll be giving 10 minutes break, like 1 hour session will be there, then again 10-minute breaks, and then again we will accumulate at the same like Zoom meeting, and then we will start the session again. It increases our efficiency. Like we cannot, it will not be good for all actually to keep discussing or keep focusing on a particular topic for continuously 2 hours. So it will decrease your efficiency as well as mine. So from tomorrow, this will be the schedule. And tomorrow we'll be discussing about the linked list, and linked list and stack I'm planning to cover tomorrow. Okay, so okay, few things about CodeChef. I just want to Hardik question is how to get a job in JP Morgan as a fresher. So in a company, a lot of other departments are also there. Like for example, in my company, software department is different, quant research department is different. So so mostly product-based companies go into colleges basically. So what you have to do is that, not this answer is not specific to JP Morgan. This answer is specific to basically every company, every good company, product-based company. If you are in college days, you have to be very much good in data algorithms till 3rd year, and then you have to make a good profile on LinkedIn, and then you have to contact basically you have to contact different HRs basically there, and you have to request for that from that particular HR that, okay, this is one of the way. Other way is that you can contact some senior from that company, which you know. If you don't know anyone, then you can contact me directly. I can refer you in any of the company, because a lot of my colleagues are there in software industry everywhere, in each and every company. So that is not a big deal. That is not a big deal, Hardik. The only big deal is that you have to be you have to be self-sufficient. Like you should be able to prove in the interviews that you are very well proficient in data algorithm. That is the main important thing which you have to focus at this point. What about arrays? Arrays are good, but it's easy. So I'll be not explaining arrays. I'll be just directly jumping on the questions actually, some important questions. In arrays, there are 1,000 categories of questions, which are all important simultaneously. So of course, I will not be able to cover all the 1,000, but yeah, I'll be discussing some of the important problems. Abhinav question is how is the interview round of JP Morgan full stack developer? Difficulty level compared to Amazon. So I'm not in the developer profile of JP Morgan. I'm the research profile, and that is little different. Like it's kind of bit mathematical. Like for example, how should I say? Okay, the whole so in physics, for example, in fluid mechanics, we read Brownian motion and all. So there will be a mathematical equation for each and every law of the physics, and that mathematical equation. So our whole economy is based on the mathematics, basically. Our whole economy, not only ours, all the whole world's economy is based on mathematics. So we kind of try to compare, like we are having a data from previous 20 years, how a stock market is performing and all, and we try to fit on a particular mathematical formula actually, that whether it is fitting for a, like for example, for a binomial expansion. So we try to fit a particular data on binomial expansion, whether it is following this particular series or not. If it is following, then this will be used to forecast actually. It will be used to predict future actually. So like that. So difficulty level compared to Amazon. So JP Morgan, if you talk about the software development, software department. So for JP Morgan is not tech company, right? JP Morgan is financial bank. So Amazon level of difficulty will be higher than JP Morgan software role actually, like developer role. So of course, Amazon difficulty level will be much more than JP Morgan software profile. So I'm stuck at a program. How can I approach you? If I'm stuck at a program, you write your question in a very brief way, and then you just post this on either like in coming sessions, or you can post me privately also, if on LinkedIn actually. That will be the way actually, or you can post here basically from next time. How to grow from HD1 to HD3 and HD3 in product-based company, what they look as role increases. So Abhinav question is that same. How to grow from, so yeah, for HD1 basically, software development engineer 1, you need to be very good in data structure algorithm and C++ basics, that's it. But for HD2, sorry guys, for HD2 you need to have good grasp on other things also. For example, there is subject known as system design. So in system design, there is another subject, system design, which you have to be very well prepared for HD2 interviews. So for example, Amazon HD2 interviews, or even Google or whatever, all the good companies will be asking you system design round. So system design round is something like you have to build a complete product. For example, they will say you that, can you build Google search engine? So these are the questions like